For United, I think because Amorim's in so quickly, I think he's under less pressure. But the results, and more importantly, the performances. And I've been talking about performances for 1, 2, 3 years. You can't detach, result and performance, because you can get away with not playing well and winning a few times, but it'll catch up with you if you don't perform on a regular basis and a consistent level. Manchester United have demonstrated nothing since Ruben Amorim came to the club. From a playing perspective, that they're adapting to the system, that they've got a fluidity in the system. That has to change at some point.
We'll get back to Gary in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And also, you know how this works. If you've got something bubbling inside of you that you need to get off your chest, the comment section is for you. Please, I read all of the comments, and if you've got something to say, I am very keen to read it. Anyway, in this little clip, it's Gary Neville's pre-match, what can I say, analysis, prediction for the Tottenham versus Manchester United Premier League game at Spurs' ground. Is it called White Hart Lane? I can't remember, to be honest. But the big fancy new stadium. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to hear what Gary's got to say. Stick around for after the clip. Because I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the current situation at Manchester United and give my prediction on what today's circus game is going to bring. Anyway, here's Gary.
Well, we're here pitchside ahead of Tottenham against Manchester United. Delighted to say I'm joined by Gary Neville for this one. Gary, what are you expecting from this fixture? Chaos?
Probably. That's the problem with these two teams, both. In fact, you say they're unpredictable, but they're actually quite predictable. They lose a lot of football matches, so that's the intriguing thing today about what actually is going to happen, who's going to win. Both of them in terrible positions in the league. Tottenham obliterated by injuries, but Manchester United have got injury problems as well today in midfield. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a good game in the sense that it'll be exciting. I think there'll be goals, but I don't sure there'll be that much quality.
Yeah, how bad is that? We talk about Tottenham in a moment, but Amad Diallo, the latest injury problem. You look in the midfield area as well with Menu, Ugarte potentially with a problem, Collier as well. What are they going to do approach-wise today, do you think?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, particularly in midfield, you've obviously got Casemiro, Eriksen. We know that's not worked before, but they may have to go to that. Fernandes will probably drop back in one of those two that I've just mentioned before will play alongside him. But yeah, it's not great. I mean, the investment that's gone into that squad and where they end up in terms of players on the pitch, not just that, they don't seem to be adapting that well to the new system that the manager has obviously brought in since he's come, the 3-4-3. So there's massive challenges for United. And they've got to turn the corner at some time, but it doesn't feel like it's coming anytime soon.
And as much as Spurs have struggled with their own injuries, and obviously here at home in the league, they haven't won since November. No. 5 defeats, 2 draws. Yeah. Is this the kind of day where it could be a good day for Spurs, given that they're starting to get a few players back, and a home game they have produced a win here against Liverpool in the Cup, against Manchester United in the Cup? Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's been an awful run for them, and going out of the 2 cup competitions recently puts added pressure onto the players, but also the manager. So they do need something to happen. They need they need to see the light at the end of the tunnel, don't they? And it's. Every time I come here, I marvel at this stadium and think about the atmosphere. I always see good games here as well, which is always, I think, a good thing for all of us that are going to be watching. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I actually think United will win, but I say that with very little confidence. I just have a gut instinct that they'll win today, and that they'll have too much for Tottenham.
Does it feel like the type of fixture that if there is a winner, that kind of winning team will have a week off from the madness, and the loser is almost even deeper into the crisis?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ange Postecoglou's been at the club a lot longer. Just done a piece up in the studio with Jamie Redknapp and Kelly and Jermaine Defoe, looking at the managers that Tottenham have sacked and the points in the sort of season when they've sacked them and where they are in the league. And there's managers been sacked here when they've been 4th, 5th and 7th in the league. Great managers as well. And the 3 managers that have left here recently, Nuno, Conte and Jose Mourinho, are all 3rd, 2nd and 1st in the league, which is not very good for Daniel Levy and the board here, because you've got to create a foundation for success, and it's obvious that here it's very challenging to do that on the pitch at this moment in time, and has been for 10-15 years. For United, I think because Amorim's in so quickly, I think he's under less pressure, but the results, and more importantly the performances, and I've been talking about performances for 1, 2, 3 years. You can't detach result and performance, because you can get away with not playing well and winning a few times, but it'll catch up with you if you don't perform on a regular basis and a consistent level. Manchester United have demonstrated nothing since Ruben Amorim came to the club. From a playing perspective, that they're adapting to this system, that they've got a fluidity in the system. That has to change at some point.
It's a really interesting one for the Big D, this particular match, because I agree with Gary's sentiment there. My gut feeling says that Manchester United are going to do well today, because if there's one thing that Man United are good at, is when it's when they're under a little bit of pressure and there's a little bit of adversity. And obviously we've had some injuries to some key players. Amad Diallo's out, and it seems that Ugarte is potentially going to be out as well. But when things get tough like that for Manchester United, they seem to sort of pull something out of the bag for a little bit. And when it's a big game, which this one is, to be fair, they seem to sort of rise to the occasion. It's against the little teams that United seem to be rubbish. It's really weird. But then again, Spurs are a small team. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the team as well, because it'll actually be nice to see Casemiro play. Because I personally think Casemiro's still got something to offer. I prefer Ugarte in there, so I do hope that he is fit. And the Big D believes that Ugarte and Casemiro would actually be a good central midfield partnership, because at the very least they'll be defensively solid. You've got the wise head of Casemiro and then the young legs of Ugarte. I think that's a really good combination. I don't know why Ruben Amorim hasn't played that much since he took over. But even if he sticks Bruno Fernandes in there, which I'm not sure about Bruno Fernandes playing in central midfield, only because Bruno Fernandes works best when he's given the kind of free rein to sort of sniff out chances and opportunities and whatnot. You need a certain level of defensive discipline to play central midfield, which I don't think Bruno Fernandes has in his game. But needs must, so if he's going to play Casemiro and Bruno in there, at least Bruno's got some legs. Don't want to see Eriksen in there with Casemiro, because Eriksen just doesn't seem to have the legs, and yeah, so that's that. But the Big D is looking forward to seeing potentially the front three of, which is what the Big D thinks is going to be the front three, Højlund, Xerxes and Garnacho, because I think those three players will complement each other, because you've got the speed and intricacy of Garnacho, so there's potential counter-attacking possibilities there. Also, Højlund's very fast as well. He just needs a little bit of service, and I really think Xerxes I think he suits the sort of deep lying forward role, and also he can actually play as a 9 a little bit, so he can sort of step up and support Højlund and as a 2, but he can also drop back and link the midfield to the attack as well. So and he can switch around with Garnacho as well. So I think that going forward, that'll be really interesting to see today. Hopefully, if that's the three that's going to play, because you never know. It could be Casemiro and Ugarte, and he might stick Bruno at number 10. We shall see. What the Big D is really looking forward to seeing is Dorgu. This will be the first time the Big D gets to see him. The Big D hasn't quite didn't quite catch his debut the last time he played, so this is going to be the first time, and this is going to be a little bit of a test. And the Big D wants to see Dorgu play on the left. None of this inside inverted wing back rubbish. The Big D wants to see Dorgu bombing down the left hand side and whipping balls in for Xerxes and Højlund's Heed, and also he wants to see Dalot on the right doing the same thing. Defensively, well, I mean, if De Ligt's playing, the Big D's happy with that. Mazraoui, that'll give the back three a little bit of, a little bit of pace, especially if Harry Maguire is going to be there, because Harry Maguire isn't exactly the speediest of defenders. But yeah, so if the team is Onana in goal, Mazraoui, De Ligt and Maguire in defence, with two wing backs, Dalit and Dorgu on the flanks, with Casemiro and Bruno in the middle, and with the front three of Xerxes, Højlund and Garnacho. The Big D think that that's a good team for today, if indeed that is going to be the team. The only question is, how's the squad going to fare over the course of the next few months? We shall see. But anyway, what do you guys think? What do you think the team's going to be today? And do you think Manchester United have got a chance against the mighty... I can't even finish that sentence. Tottenham Hotspur. But yeah, Big D wants to know what you think. Please, thoughts in the comments. And no doubt I will be chatting to you as a reaction to the result later tonight or maybe tomorrow. It depends on the result itself. Anyway, enjoy the game and the Big D will see you soon.